Thanks everybody for joining us. Welcome to Apostolic Thinking. I have a special guest with me today, Brother Eddie Teague from Nashville, Arkansas. Brother Eddie, tell us a little bit of what you do around the church.
Well, when I first come back to church, I took and was a door greeter. I opened the door for people as they come into church. And as time pressed on, I became involved in the Sunday school class. I was a Sunday school department. In the Sunday school department, I was a teacher. And I was promoted up to Sunday school. I was over the Sunday school department. I am responsible for taking up the offering, keeping the counts on how many children, how many adults are in the class, teachers. I also have the opportunity to be able to count the people that are in the church every week. I handle the offering in the church. I make sure that the right people have the baskets. I also get to pray over the offering, and I also do a little sermonette on Sunday mornings. That's basically what I do in church.
You got a lot of things you do around the church, a lot of hats you wear.
Yes, sir.
And but that's not always the case, was it?
No, sir. I've been out of the church. I was none of that.
You've got a past, huh?
I have a past.
Well, tell us a little about your past.
I would like to tell you a little bit about it. I started using methamphetamine when I was 21, 22 years old. It progressed on until, let's say, 99 when I got in trouble. I went to prison. And from 99 till 2012, there was about a 5-year period there from 2004 to 2010, maybe 9, that I did come back and live for the Lord. But I had a drug addiction, and a bad one. I would do anything. I've sold things that shouldn't have been sold. I've done things to people, had people do things for me just in the sake of getting high. I was as low as I could be as far as being a drug addict. I didn't care about anything else. I wanted to get high. And in 2012, I got busted. Matter of fact, let me just tell you about the 2012 incident. It was in August. I was at church. I was coming to church. I was what they call a functioning drug addict. I would come to church, and that night was on a Wednesday night in August of 2012. My tooth got to hurting. I got up out of church, went home. I took a pain pill, decided I was going to lay down. My tooth was hurting so bad. By 1:30 that night, I was caught on the side of the road, arrested, and that's where my journey started back to the Lord. I understand I went to jail. I went to rehab and to jail. Went to rehab for like 6-7 months up in Sheridan, Arkansas. I went to prison for 9 months. When I came out of prison in 2014, January 2014, I'd made up my mind that I was done. Not long after that, with a made-up mind, God done something for me that's never been done for me before. I can sit and tell you today that I am not a drug addict. God absolutely took that from me. He took it from me. I don't have a desire for it. I don't have any desire to go back to that life at all. None of this could have been made, could have been happening, could have been possible without the prayer and support of my family, Jesus, and a pastor that loved me, a church that loved me. And I will tell you this much, if you're out there in the world and you are lost and you don't know where to turn, find you a church. There's churches out here. If you can't come to this church, if you want to come to this church here, we'll love you. There's many drug addicts and alcoholics that come to our church that have been alcoholics that are not that anymore. My travel started then. I was introduced to, I'd been coming to church, but I hadn't been real involved in it. I had a great pastor named Billy Sanders. He's helped me tremendously. You know, he's not gonna tell you what you want to hear. He's gonna tell you about why it's got to be this way, and that is part of his leadership and this church and the commitment that God made to me and I made to God to stay clean, to help someone else, and to do whatever it takes to get to heaven and to bring my family to heaven. I know we were talking about my drug addiction in my past, but that is my past mixed in with my present. I want you to know the drug addiction can be beat with the Lord. The only way it can be is with the Lord. I hope that helps someone. I hope I answered that question.
You did very well. Yeah. So you did have a night, though, that when you realized something's got to be different. I can't live this way anymore. I got to do something different. There was a change.
The change.
Tell us about that.
August 2012, 1:30 in the morning when they arrested me. When I got back to the jail and they processed me and put me in jail, I knew right then that I was sick and tired of living the life that I'd lived. Now, I have a background in the Apostolic Pentecostal Church. My family, I was raised in it. I didn't partake in it until August 2012 when I started really living for the Lord. I made a commitment to the Lord to do that. And when I made that commitment, it took, now, I want to tell you something. It doesn't matter that you make that commitment. I made that commitment, and I still spent 15 months. If you break the law is going to get their part. God's not going to just bring you up out of that jail cell. He has in the Bible. But he didn't me. He knew that I'd been playing with him forever, for a long, long time. And he knew it was time to make sure that I never went back to that life.
And you haven't.
And I have not. No, I have not.
Have not.
No, I do. I have no desire to. And I see people all around here that I really want to help. Because I can tell, I know where they're at. Because I've been there. And God's the only thing that brought me out of that.
So how would you compare your life now? The life you live today versus the life you lived before that August night?
Okay. I'll give you the part of that. I'll give you my now. Right now, I live in a beautiful home, have a beautiful wife that takes care of me. I have 2 young children. Now, this is what I do have that I really want to press. I have a son that's in church. He was in church tonight with me. I have another son that will be in church with me one day soon. And both of them have had their battles. They've overcome those. But they've overcome them, and they got to have the Lord in them. That's how this has changed, how my life has changed. I want to help people. just a second. God has put me in a position to help someone. With me being on here today, I want people to know that you can come out of that life. There's no doubt in my mind. I'm sitting here, and the people around Nashville, they know me. I'll just tell you, the mayor that we have right now, Billy Ray Jones, he's known me a long time. I can walk up and talk to him anytime now, and used to, we wouldn't talk at all. He saw the change in me, and he knows that change. Also, in 2012, and I keep going back to that, I had absolutely nothing except a truck, and it wasn't even in my name. I have a truck now. I have a car. My wife has a car. We both have great jobs that we've been blessed in. And I had none of that back then. All I had was looking over my shoulder, trying to figure out where my next fix was and who I could trust to get me that fix. There's no comparison to what my old life was versus my new life. And the bottom line is, Jesus Christ is the reason that I have this life today. Anything that I have, He gave it to me. He blessed me with it. Down to my wife, because my wife was one of those that prayed about her husband. She wasn't going to marry somebody that the Lord didn't tell her to marry. And I've ruined 3 marriages in my lifetime. I've damaged a lot of people in my lifetime. And God has given me the opportunity now that I can give back. And that is the change in my life.
So there is hope. Whatever situation you're in this life, there is hope. This is living proof of it. And I thank everybody for joining us. And Eddie, thank you for being with us.
Sir, no problem. I've enjoyed it. I've been nervous about it, but I've enjoyed it. I have.
Thank everybody.